Welcome to the live session. We're just going to dive right into it. It's Friday night. I know you all have a lot going on, but I want to make this very informative and pack as much information as possible into the time that I have with you. Thank you for joining in. Let's hop right in. Just released this week, the Tao to a Fitness 12-week program. And you can see beautifully put together front page here, and I'm going to go over some of the key points this program covers, but also what you really care about, what you really want to hear is like, okay, well, how does this apply to me? How can I use this? I'm glad you asked because I'm going to tell you how. It's a complete guide. So you can get this PDF, follow it to the T, and I guarantee you'll burn the fat. You'll shred it, and everybody wants to be shredded. Now, you don't need to go up on stage and compete. This is not the type of program for someone that's looking at an advanced level. This is our people that are like sick and tired of being sick and tired. You want to target the fat. You want to have a simple, easy way in a logical way of progressing through a program. Then this 12-week program is going to be perfect for you. I'm not a doctor. If I was a doctor, I wouldn't be here doing a live. I'd probably be taking care of patients somewhere. So know that I'm just a coach on the internet. I do know one thing: check with your doctor before doing anything, especially if you have a history of injuries, you got some hardware placed in the knee, shoulder, back, whatever it is you got going on. Check with your doctor, especially if you haven't seen them for a while. I know it seems redundant, but the reason we have dumb rules is because somebody somewhere screwed up for the rest of us. It's just the way it works. The good thing about this table of contents is you can click on it and it'll take you right to the section. I yelled at my VA all up and down. I was like, can you make it so I don't have to scroll through all the pages? So she did a beautiful job there. I give you a quick little intro on who I am, what this program is going to do for you. And then I spent all this time making a beautiful signature for you to look at and be like, wow. And not only is he a good coach, but he's got a phenomenal signature. Don't give me that much credit. It was a font. I just typed it in and made it look like I knew what I was doing with my signature. My signature is terrible, but there it is. All my socials, all these links are in there. If you want to email me, you can. Instagram, all my social handles. YouTube is launched this month. We do long videos, I do shorts. Check it out. Get in there and check it out. Subscribe, get notified when we drop stuff. Be sure to do that. Complete overview. So we're going to look into what fat actually is. I was writing this out. I was like, let me make this for a broad audience. I am a fireman, and firemen need things explained to them simply. There's an acronym in the fire service: keep it simple, stupid. That's exactly how this is worded out. Now, when it comes to your body fat, that's the one thing we're all worried about. Excess adipose tissue, stored energy, your insulation layer, whatever you want to call it, it's fat. Okay. You have muscle, you have skeleton, you have interstitial fluid, you have blood, you got all this other stuff going on, but then you got fat, stored energy. And that's all it is. We're talking about what it is and how it's used in the body, but more important, how can we target it? How can we lose it? And the more we start shedding that insulated layer, we could start getting leaner, and it starts showing that musculature underneath. Body fat percentage, I give you a chart how to do all that. We won't dive too deep into it. I just want to give you a quick once over. So think of your nutrition as what fuels your body, and think of your body as a high performing vehicle. Okay, you wouldn't just put junk in it. You want the best fuel to get the most efficient use and the most performance, the highest level of performance out of the vehicle you're driving, your body. See the analogy there? And your nutrition is exactly that. We want to gear your nutrition so you're targeting your body to burn fat, to give you enough energy to progress through the workouts and put the intensity there. And so you have your focus and you don't feel like dog water afterwards. If you have good nutrition on board, it's going to set you up for the most amount of success as you progress through the 12-week program. The analogy I love using when it comes to nutrition is you have quality and you have quantity. The quality of the gasoline that you put in your vehicle, the quality of the food that you put inside of your body is going to dictate how you feel. Quality food, you are going to feel a lot better than you are if you eat low quality food. Quality is going to dictate how you feel. And then quantity. So quantity is going to dictate how you look. If you eat a high quantity of food, it's going to make you larger. If you eat a lower quantity of food, it's less. So you're going to lose weight. You want high quality food in lower quantities in general to create that deficit so we can target fat loss specifically. Meal planning, tracking, that's all part of it. If you're experienced enough, I've done enough of these bulking and shred sessions that I have a really good idea. I can measure pretty dang close to what 4 ounces of chicken breast are, what a gallon of water is. And if you don't have the experience and you don't want to rely on intuitive eating, that's where the measurement comes in. Actually tracking it and planning it through makes a lot of sense, especially when it comes to nutrition. You kind of fluff the exercise stuff as long as you're progressing through and you're getting stronger. But when it comes to nutrition, especially if you're stuck, the only way you can really make those adjustments to get out of that rut is to measure it. is to track it, because then you know you'll be able to see the numbers just like you would track your bank account. If you sit down and go through all the numbers, you're like, man, I'm spending more money than I make. That's why I'm in the red every month. Makes sense. But if you don't take that opportunity to sit down and go over it, you're never going to identify where it is that those extra expenditures are coming. The good news for you is, in this case, you want to be spending more when it comes to your energy balance. You want to be spending more, because then that's going to create that negative balance or that deficit we talk about. This is why it's important to understand this philosophy, especially when it comes to fat loss. The biggest driver of fat loss is being in what we call a caloric deficit. And all that is by burning more calories than what you require. And then that stored energy is what's being released and used as energy because you're in a deficit. And that's how we're able to create this fat loss. When it comes to your nutrition, if you're eating the right quality and quantity, then your body is going to have to liberate those stored energy levels so we can get through these workouts and ultimately get lean and shredded. That's why it's a 12-week program. We're gonna have you shredded. If you think about your nutrition, like the food pyramid, this is the nutrition pyramid. Your calories and macronutrients, like all the important things that come with that. If you're targeting that stored energy specifically, this is what's important and what's least important. And it really comes down to prioritizing. What's important when it comes to fat loss? Is it having the most celebrated supplement out there? That's the least important. The biggest factor when it comes to losing fat is being in a calorie deficit. Knowing your meal timing and frequency is important, but if you're over on calories, you're still going to go over. Okay. Macronutrients, micronutrients, all that is more important than knowing the above, but the calories ultimately is going to be the most important factor when it comes to fat loss. And we're going to tell you exactly how. I'm glad you said that, because I'm going to tell you how you can calculate your caloric needs when it comes through. I gave you some great examples here. And then I also gave you, if you really like mathematics, you can see here, plug your numbers in, do the math. If the math is not mathing, you better get somebody that knows math so they can start mathing. I just tongue twisted myself, but here's the formula. I'm going to provide you with a link. You can Google it. There are billions. Okay, maybe not that many, but there's a ton of free calculators that you can just plug your numbers in and it does the math for you. And that's available in the link. I'm going to give you a link that you can do that, but or run this metric. Like I actually, when I got down to the nitty gritty, I was like, let me just plug these numbers. There's an assignment for you, calculator that you find online. Then I want you to actually plug in your numbers to this formulation and see what you get. The number might surprise you. The calculators are great because they're going to get you started in the right direction. But if you're really trying to dial it in, you got to run this formulation to get it exactly. And even if it says your BMR is 1376, that's not 100% exactly like to the calorie. That's going to be as precise as you can get. Everybody's body's a little bit different. Everybody's body's a little different, but this is the best math formulation. We have to figure that out. By calculating this number, you're able to find your basal metabolic rate or your baseline. That's your base that you build your foundation on. So think of it like that. Basal metabolic rate, or your BMR. Okay, that's the formulation we use for that. Now, this other word here is your TDEE. That's your total daily energy expenditure. So you have your baseline. Say you have your base salary, right? Then you have some extra operating expenses on top of that. You count that as total, as money spent. They give you a salary that you spend on a project or a job, and then you have these other things that you cover with it on top of that. That's one way. Think of that total. That's what this would be, your total daily energy expenditure. There is also some more math for you to be mathing. And what we call these are in mathematics is coefficients. So you would take the number that you get on this equation here. Would that be an equation? This formula. You would take the total you find in this formula, and then you would multiply against this coefficient based on which one is appropriate to you. And that's going to give us your total daily energy expenditure. Okay. And we'll talk about sedentary, lightly active, moderate. I give you some examples there. And I want you to think about, some days I work out, some days I don't. Just think of it as the average through the week. If every day you are very, very extremely active, maybe you're a wildland firefighter, you're some kind of GI, like you're just an all-around badass. Okay, if you do that just once in a while, think of your job. Whatever job you're doing, most people have jobs. That's going to take a majority of their week and dictate their activity level. Use that for the scale. If you sit at a desk and you're an accountant, consider that sedentary or lightly active. If you're an active account, that's one way to do that. You'd multiply it against that coefficient. That's going to give us your TDEE. We are going to figure out how much you want to lose. The easiest way to think about it is that in total, a pound is going to cost you 3,500 calories. If you want to lose a pound a week, you need to be in a deficit of 100 calories a day, because 500 times 7 is 3,500. That's one quick way to think about it. We're going to brush over the macronutrients. Your macronutrients are what make up the base of your calories. You have three important ones. You may have heard of them, and we're going to go over those again. You have protein, you have fat, and you have carbohydrates. Protein are essential for building and repairing tissues, muscles, the thing we all want, bones. There's a lot of very important processes that happen within the body that protein is going to be imperative. You can be really low on protein, but it may start affecting some of these other issues down the line, especially if you're pulling back on the protein. It's going to be vital. That's where we're going to build your nutrition. Fat is also important, especially my ladies. Ladies, listen up. Just naturally, women hold more fat than their male counterparts, and it actually is healthier for you to have more of this body fat on. But if we're concerned about looks, then we need to be getting this exercise program in to get you more muscle tissue. But you don't want to be completely restrictive on fats. Like you can't cut them completely out of your diet. But it's just important to know that hormonal functions and things that are vital to the body, nutrient absorption, all of that is so important. And that's why you need to have fats. And then you have healthy fats and unhealthy fats. So the plan is to prioritize the healthy fats in your diet, coming from seeds, nuts, oils, fatty meats. Fats are more calorie dense. So each gram of fat is going to have 9 calories versus a gram of protein's only got 4. And the same thing is with carbohydrates, it's only got 4. So if you eat something that's high in fat, gram wise, it may be less than something high in fat and carbs. I digress. The grams and the calories can get a little confusing, but to simplify it, fats have 9, proteins and carbs have 4 calories each. Okay, that's the best way to think about it. And then let's talk about carbs. Carbs get demonized all the time. It's like the redheaded stepchild of not necessarily true. Carbs are important too. All three of them are. That's why they're the 3 essential. Carbohydrates are actually your body's preferred energy source. Your body prefers carbohydrates. I'll take eggs as payment, but I prefer cash. The body's the same way. The body prefers carbohydrates. Mr. Bill Collector at the inside of your body. Mr. Bill Collector comes around. He's collecting bills inside the body and goes to storefront number 1. It's like, hey man, bills due. What do you got? It's time to pay up, or Tony Soprano is going to come in here and bust your kneecaps. Listen here, Mr. Soprano, I've got a handful of proteins and a handful of fats. What, you ain't got carbohydrates? Where are the carbs at? Stop playing with my emotions and playing with my carbohydrates is like playing with my emotions. I want carbohydrates. That's what I prefer. That's how your body's going to act. Breaking down protein, you can still end up with the ultimate same result as far as energy. Your body can do it. It's not as efficient. It takes a little bit longer and actually takes more energy, leaves you with net less energy. And so the body prefers carbohydrates. You can't cut them all the way out. Don't cut them out. Carbohydrates are yummy and good, but you have to understand them. Understand that as the body's preferred energy source, you can see how if I time my carbohydrates and I eat the right kinds of carbohydrates and I use that to my advantage as far as my nutrition is concerned, then my body prefers that it's going to be using carbohydrates as energy. If you're going to go work out, you want to have energy to do that, but then your body burns through the carbs, so it doesn't store it as fat, and then all these other things kick in. You want to really put a bulk of your calories coming from your protein because it's going to support muscle. It's going to support muscle. And then your fats is probably going to be the lowest one. But again, you got to multiply this number by 9 to get the calories. And carbohydrates is people are like, oh man, it's too many carbohydrates. No, it's not. You need carbohydrates. It's just getting this number figured out so that ultimately the calories in total and with your exercise are in a deficit. So I give you a quick little cheat sheet here. If you're going to go get a grocery list, use this list. Print just this page out. Page 9 of the 12-week Tautua Shred program. Print this page out. Put page in pocket. Go to the store, the local Walmarts. Pull page out of pocket and use this as your grocery list. It's going to do you a ton of good. Now, I can't tell you prices, but I can tell you how many grams per serving. See where I'm going with this? How many grams per serving? Get you some eggs. This helps with the math of the mathing and also helps you simplify it. If this was all that was in my kitchen, I would look like Chris Bumstead because this is literally the mecca of how you want your nutrition set up. And of course, you can get other things. Design your own meal plan. This gives you a layout of how a day would go. This is still going to put you in a calorie deficit. It's still going to give you a wide variety of different things. You're not eating the same box dinner over and over again. So you can see how if you plan this out and do your meal shopping right, this is a pretty good day. Woke up, had some wakey eggs and bakey, had a little shake during the day. I had a wrap for lunch, hold me over till dinner. I had some bananas and a yogurt. It was good. Then I went crazy at a fiesta and I had cheese dip and chips. This is a typical half of a day for a fireman. So make your grocery list, track your progress. And how do I do that? If only I had a place I could track all that stuff. I'm glad you said something because I give you all that. I give you a shopping list. We're going to give you recipes These are just some of my favorite ones I put together. Yeah, zucchini's good. Don't knock it till you try it. It's phenomenal. It's like an omelet. All right. I'll give you dinner recipes, breakfast, dinner, snacks, and goes right into the exercise programming. These are pretty self-explanatory. Went to the AI world and I was like, hey, make me a faceless lady doing this. Took ever, but you get to reap the rewards and just look at it and do your thing. So front lunges, all this. It walks you through the workouts. And when I told you, all right, you're gonna have to track it, this is one way it's going to set you up. It gives you an idea of how we're phasing out this programming, your workout splits. It give you some beautiful examples, illustrations how to do it, and you can type directly in here. Like week 1, I did 122 pounds. Keep this, and you got a link here. You click on it, a video pops up and shows you with awesome background how to do the movement. I hope this shows in the screen recording. If not, when you download this, you can click this. Each of the movements had to film a video and create a link all here. Don't worry about all the stuff in the back end. Just know that's here. So you have a illustration here in the PDF, but you also have a video, and then we got a place for you to track it. This will get you through the first phase, built out, follow it, do it, log it, and make sure that you're progressively adding some weight and reps. Okay. And we can go deeper into hypertrophy and progressive overload. I am old school. I still have tracking logs from the 1990s, literally from the late 19. I like writing it out. I like being able to see it. I can do these apps and all that. The fitness app is set up this way because it keeps it all in one spot, but you can type these in like, all right, I only slept 6 hours this night. My energy was a 10 out of 10. You see where I'm going with this. Utilize it. It's interactive. That's the whole purpose of it. It's one of the beautiful things of this. I give it all the way through the entire 12-week program. You could track it through all the workouts. We're going to zip past this because it'll be another lesson, like going through actual exercises as you progress through the programming. We throw in some variations in the movements. We're also looking to target some of the specific areas my ladies are concerned about and not get you too bulky. But to counteract that argument, I hear it often. I don't want to get too bulky. I don't want to look like Arnold. I don't want to look like Chris Bumstead. Those gentlemen or those ladies you see didn't roll out of bed and look like that. They put in a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of nutrition, probably a lot of pharmaceutical help. And to look like that, like years and hundreds of thousands of dollars of assistance when it comes to looking that big, bulky. And so doing a 12-week program is not, you're not going to do that. I hate to take the wind out of your sails. It takes a lot of work to look like that. But we are specifically worried about targeting. And if you progress through this program and do it consistently, you will get the results. You'll see the scale drop. You'll see that fat tissue pulling back and really exposing the musculature. That's what everybody wants, to be more toned, to be more firm, and to have better shape. That adipose tissue is what's messing the shape up, but by getting rid of that and adding a little bit more musculature, that shape's going to come back. That thing's going to be popping. That's the whole point. Don't worry about getting too bulky too quick. It takes a lot of time, but we are focused on getting rid of the fat. And there are supplements you can take. My 3 recommendations here for everybody: creatine monohydrate, multivitamins, protein powder. Coach Kia just finished leg day, which is why I'm enthusiastic, but you got to get your protein in. There it is. Those are my recommendations. I don't sell supplements. You can find the proteins in the multivitamins you want. I have suggestions I can make. I like chocolate and peanut butter flavors, but maybe you don't. That's up to you. When it comes to creatine and monohydrate, they make it in bulk. It's fairly cheap. Multivitamins depend on the profile if you want. They have Centrum Silvers for men. They have women's. They have pregnancy pills, vitamins. You know, those vitamins are formulated differently than someone who's older or younger. And so the vitamins got to make sense for you. So I can't recommend one across the board. Just know you need an extra vitamin. Protein powder is the same. Just make sure it's got a minimum of 18 grams per serving, and look at where the protein source is coming from. Protein is just amino acid profiles. You have complete and incomplete, and where that profile is coming from, it could be from plants, it could be from animal products. So if you're concerned about that, just read the labeling. It'll tell you if it's a plant source protein or it's an animal source protein, like milk. If it's got at least 18 grams and you're happy with the source, those are all I care about. And then the flavor and all that's up to you. So if you like the flavor, it's got those other minimum requirements, it's good to go. It's good to go. Maybe I should sell supplements. I want to help you all lose some weight and get it figured out. Sleep and recovery. You got to get sleep. You got to recover. This is where most of the magic happens. I could do a whole 30-minute dissertation on this alone, but you got to get sleep. If you don't get sleep, your body uses sleep like a bank account. You pay a sleep debt. When you get good sleep, you're packing that energy away into your sleep bank. Every night that you go with interrupted sleep or lack of sleep, that sleep fatigue bank is building up. And you can take all the crap in the world you want to get over it. The coffee, the nicotine, people take ADHD medication, they do all sorts of stuff, stimulants that fry the nervous system and keep you awake. But eventually, when that bank starts filling up of fatigue and sleep deprivation, it's going to come asking for that bill and it's going to be due. And it's usually going to catch your ass slacking. So just make sure to get the sleep, prioritize it, because if you don't pay that bill, it's going to come and ask to be collected. And it's usually at the least inconvenient time. And by doing so, your body will force you to get rest. You could either get sick, catch a cold or something, which forces you to be in bed. It starts lowering your immune system. It makes you more susceptible to these things, or you just crash out. And don't do that. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm one of those people that goes many a nights without sleep due to work, but eventually I pay that bill. I get home and I'll sleep. I walked you all the way through the programming in 30 minutes. I know I went off and gave some beautiful examples, but it's all here. You could take this guide, never listen to Coach Kia again, never get on a call, and still get progress. The interactive links here make it so you can reach out to me. You're obviously here in the Tautua fitness community. You've got your tribe members. You can post a question. I'm not the only one that could post. You could post a question. Somebody else that may have insight to it can share their response. Or you can reach to me directly and we could sit down, actually set a time where we could talk about you specifically. This program is fantastic. It could work for both men and women, but it's really geared towards my ladies. If you need a more highly personalized approach and you don't want to do the workouts that are in there because you have something very specific to you, we can put together a game plan specifically for you, highly personalize it. You're like, I don't know how to get a hold of you, Coach Kia. You click this link here, bink, and you could find my availability time. A little bit, we already talked. My availability time, which is very limited, 10 days a month. I am working as a paramedic and first responder. That leaves me 20 days. And then I'm doing these coaching calls and coaching one-on-one clients. I stay fairly booked. On top of that, the wifey and kids are very demanding of my time. I put my family and the people that I serve first, especially my one-on-ones. If that's something that interests you, book a call. Get on the books. Let's talk about it. Let's identify what's holding you back, and then we'll get you a program and set you out a blueprint to get you the most success. So that's how you do that. You can reach me on any of these socials. You can go back there and use any of these resources. You can use the guide. You can use the shopping list. You could read more about how to the math on figuring out your TDEE. I go into strength training philosophies, hypertrophy, progressive overload, and really break down some of the other stuff. Or you could try any of these recipes. You could print this out, cook one of these recipes, and steal all the credit. You can go and cook it for your family and friends. Be like, yeah, just something I came up with. Want to do something a little healthier, so I came up with this recipe for you all. I want you to be able to utilize this program and get the most amount of results. Workout splits, snack ideas. I put one of my favorite ones in here. I like the strawberry myself, but as you can see, I gave you some examples. You can play with those recipes too as well. I'm going to bring this to an end so I could just talk to you directly. I appreciate everybody's time for hopping into a live session. I'll open it up for a Q&A and try to address some of these questions specifically. You can get a copy of this program within the Tautua community. It's under the classrooms tab. You click on that, register to the class. You can get access to that right away. And then there's other resources that I'll be tying in along with the lesson plan. It's pretty straightforward. You could just get into the course, download that PDF, and off you go. It's an interactive PDF. It works with or without the course, but you could also pair that with these live sessions once a week for anybody going through the programming. We can talk about it. We can get you over the hurdles. We give you some suggestions and make changes for you specifically, or I could walk you through a 12-week program and we highly personalize it all the way to you, from what you like to eat, what you like to work out, and all the other recommendations. As you can see, my sleep deprivation bank is catching up with me. I just want to thank you for joining in. I highly encourage you to enroll in that course, grab a copy of that, tell 5 friends about it so they all can hold you accountable. Then you all go through it. There's an idea. We can call up Coach Kia and I will be glad to hold your feet to the flame and keep you accountable through that. Be sure to engage with everybody else in the tribe. Check out all the social links. I'll be dropping some more informative videos, especially on the YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe on that and DM me directly if you got questions. I'm always here. Thank you for hopping into the live session today. I'll be opening up the Q&A, but I'll end this recording here. Thank you for jumping in. And just remember, when it comes to all this, it seems like a lot of information. Don't let it overwhelm you. And as long as you're making progress, that's what matters. It's about progress, not perfection. Just keep that in mind. It's Coach Kia signing off.